Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this interview anywhere else but within our private Facebook community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, then definitely come check us out. We'd definitely love to have you in there. Right now, we're at about 6,300 members and we've grown really fast. So if you're a coach, consultant, or a service provider who's serious about getting up to that 7-figure level, definitely come check out our community. So today, I want to introduce you to one of the members of our community, Goel. Welcome, Mani.
Thank you, Extus. Good to meet you and good to see you.
Awesome. So tell us, what do you do?
Well, basically, I'm an integrated spiritual healer and a life coach. And I'm also an author, an artist of energy painting. So it's energy light work, healing artwork. I'm also an independent filmmaker and founder of two companies, which is Money Healing International, which is an alternative learning institute that I founded originally in Hong Kong, but now I teach internationally actually, and also founder of an independent film production house, that's Maya Productions. Both originated in Hong Kong.
Yeah, awesome. You got quite a bit going on then.
Yeah, quite a bit actually. I've switched a lot of careers, and a lot of my friends, they tell me like you've lived so many lives in one lifetime. Yeah. So it's kind of an interesting journey, but I think I always was looking for a life purpose or something that in ways that I could express myself and kind of serve people in some ways, with the gifts that I felt that I had. So it was all about that and just looking for like self-actualization, if you would say that.
Okay.
And also, yeah.
Yeah. So where did your journey start? How did you before you got into what you're doing right now? What did your journey start?
Well, my journey actually started, I would say, maybe 15 years ago. They say when you get into, actually, I was watching one of your interviews by chance, and you asked one of the ladies you were interviewing, do you agree that people who are like more successful and who go through a lot of challenges have a calling to serve people by learning through those challenges? And actually, my journey started 15 years ago, my spiritual journey, so to speak, which put me on this track because earlier my job was that of a flight attendant. And I was preparing for an academic alternative career. But then I had a spine injury, which could have put me on wheelchair, plus some personal crisis going on. And that put me on a spiritual path where I started connecting to a lot of like spiritual wellness coaches who were visiting from US and UK to Hong Kong, who were very well known, started learning from them. And that helped me, so it was like more my journey of healing to self-discovery. Then I also met my guru, my Tibetan Buddhist guru, and I started meditating a lot, and that kind of changed me totally, like expanded my consciousness. And it was like a very different experience when I started meditating. And that's how my life transformed, and this journey that totally changed me. Like I can't recognize that old life anymore. So
yeah. So in terms of being where you are today, your level of success, everything you've done, would you have imagined this is where you would be today?
no, I never thought, now of course we look at coaching or even spiritual healing or being a wellness coach or a lifestyle coach as a probable profession, but when I was growing up, we never knew. And I was born in Indian, right? And in India, mostly, first of all, of course, my parents brought me up differently. I was brought, so now my parents, it was not like, oh, you have to get married and all that. But in India, you grow up to become either engineers, doctors, civil servants. So first of all, I became a flight attendant. And then it was a total different journey. Even my parents were shocked when I went through all this personal transformation. Even my friends were shocked, who knew me. They were like, Vido, you're such a different person now. But then, of course, I think there are signs for all of us through our childhood and even our adolescence years, because I think my friends, and even in those time, my friends and colleagues from my aviation industry, my aviation colleagues, I remember now that I was always looked at as someone who they could turn to for support. I was a good listener, and I always had that empathy and compassion. I could hear people out, and I could give them some kind of solutions to the problem. So I think that seed was always there. And like somehow universe conspires to put us through certain challenges to eventually bring us to where we have to be at the soul level, because as a soul we don't know where, we are kind of blinded by this world that we are living in. So I
Mhm.
think we have to go through those challenges to eventually realize where our soul needs to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. So in your journey, you said something about being, what is it, almost paralyzed, you said?
Yeah, almost being on a wheelchair. Like I actually hurt my spine. I fractured my lower spine, and the doctor was very surprised to see me walking. They said like if it was just like half a millimeter over the fracture where the fracture is, you could have very well been in a wheelchair. So, and
Hmm.
it was like 15 years ago, and that was one of the most debilitating period of my life. And I think that was when I felt really helpless, and I really prayed hard for God, like the higher power to help me. I said, what did I do to deserve this? I'm a good person. I'm a good soul. I help people, and I'm a good daughter. Like I didn't deserve this. And that's when I met my guru, and I kind of realized that perhaps I went through that because I was veering a little from my path, and I needed to come back to this self-realization.
Hmm. Awesome.
And yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's so powerful as well too, because it definitely seems most individuals, I realize there's a lot of people who, when things happen to them, right, at some point they blame, but they never find the meaning. They never find an empowering meaning behind why they went through or why they had to go through what they went through. And so many people, I believe, they get in situations and it doesn't really work out exactly the way they intended, but they just complain about it. They never do it. They live their whole life just talking about how bad it was and this thing happened, that thing happened, all the excuses, versus others who they face adversity, they face different challenges, they face things in their life that in the beginning it doesn't seem like it could be a positive, but they end up finding that mean, they end up finding a way that drives them and that keeps them moving forwards, right?
Yeah, I think eventually a lot of us, and I agree with you that there are a lot of people who complain and who are not able to find, you know, go through, like look through why the challenges are coming into their life. And a lot of times, of course, I think part of a spiritual journey or part of our inner journey and personal evolution, which I think all of us go through at a certain level, especially people who are get into coaching business or business of serving others. I think we all go through that evolution, but people who complain, they kind of stop their own evolution as well. And I think it's a huge learning for us to realize that every challenge that comes, it brings us it's an opportunity in disguise. It's an opportunity for transformation, for development, for growth, for service. If only we could look at it that way.
Hmm. Awesome. So you said you wrote a book, right?
Yeah, I have written a book, and I'm working on some other
Yeah. What's the name of your book?
the name of my book is Healing with the
Hmm.
Angels Wisdom for Your Life, basically angelic wisdom for your life. So these are like channeled messages, because I'm a clairvoyant. I actually receive messages, so as a spiritual healer. So that was my first book, where I'm talking about certain issues, basically all everything that we face in life. So I have a topic on marriage, love, relationship, success, career, and just these are spiritual messages, and how we can receive, and how eventually we can attain peace, and how we can go through if we are facing challenges in any of those areas in our life. So
Hmm.
that's what the book is all about. It's published in Hong Kong. I did pretty well in Hong Kong actually at that time.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, with that book, how long did it take you to write it?
It took me at that time when I was writing that book. I really took a sabbatical just to like a writing holiday. It took me like two months to write it, two
Mhm.
months, and at that time I was like totally incommunicado. I was totally off internet, off Facebook, off social media, because I knew the messages that were, it was more like a channel book. So the messages I knew that were coming to me have to be very like pure and you know like from a higher source in a way. And so I kind of changed my diet. I would just go for my walks and nature tracks, and then I would come back and just write and write and write. And it was more like a meditation, like writing meditation.
Mhm. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. So you kind of blocked out all external, like distractions,
Distractions,
distractions and
yes,
things,
yes,
and
yes.
just went inward.
I just went on that. And then I have some other creative projects. I'm actually working on my next book project. I'm currently in talks with the publisher. That's going to be like a book, not book, but like daily cards for affirmations. So daily affirmations for all of us to kind of look at and just start a day with.
Hmm. Okay. Are you pretty big into affirmations?
Yes, I do believe in the power of affirmations. Actually, I do post some affirmations from time to time on my Facebook page and all that, and I do believe that affirmations, if we do them continually, they kind of help us. At least they help us remove sometimes the blockages that we might be carrying within us.
Mhm.
To sometimes change certain situations, because a lot of times the blockages are caused by our own thought patterns, by our own upbringing, or by our own conditioning. So affirmations, if repeated like 21 times or more, they can help to release those limiting blockages sometimes,
Mhm.
most of the times I believe. And I think they act like mantras. It's like a combination of very positive words, and I think affirmations are a great way to start your day.
Mhm. Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us, what's one skill you'd say you've kind of you've really focused on that's helped you get to your level of success that you've created for yourself today?
I think one skill is integrity.
Mhm.
Integrity in whatever I do. And of course, I'm known for my healings, and also basically for my clairvoyance and channeling skills. So I teach a special course which is kind of one of its kind in Asia Pacific region, because currently I'm more focused on the Asia Pacific region, having lived in Hong Kong, and now I'm spending a lot of time in India as well. That's called a soul design course, where we actually go through the journey of the soul. It's actually a spiritual course, but people who are my students are actually into coaching, leadership coaching, success coaching, money coaching, because they want to add that additional spiritual skill, to share with their clients, with the people who are attending their workshops and their talks and all that. So this course is actually, and so I this is not a beginner's course. This is basically a course for practitioners, people who are already in the business of healing, are spiritual entrepreneurs, or are into leadership training, and they attend this course. It's an Akashic Records course where you're actually connecting and getting to know, as a human being, what is our, we are actually we are spiritual beings in a human body. It doesn't matter whether we are what race, nationality, religion, faith we follow. End of the day, we are a soul. Soul doesn't have a religion, it doesn't have a color, it doesn't have a faith, it doesn't have a nationality. We all have had different journeys as a soul, and this is what we discover. And eventually that course really connects us to our soul purpose. And it also is very healing. So a lot of people, who've gone through some kind of childhood abuse in this life, in the, like whether you're born as Extus or money or AYZ, if they've gone through some kind of trauma, this course really, so they go through, helps you heal that. They go through a lot of personal healing, and eventually, it equips them to take this learning whatever it is that they imbibe from the course and the skills to follow their life purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
most of my students, they're actually now, they have started. I just last year I taught this course in Thailand, and it was all attended by people from different nationalities. They were all seasoned coaches and trainers, and now they're running their own. So it really connected them to their higher life purpose. Maybe it removed the limiting blocks, and now some of them are setting up their own retreats or setting up their own coaching business. They're quitting from their jobs, and so it's very enriching to see people going through that transformation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you said you had an event in Thailand.
Sorry, yeah, I taught that last year in Thailand. And then again, with all this COVID-19, some of my workshops and events got postponed or,
Mm-hmm.
and all that. So it was scheduled for Hong Kong now, beginning of the year. But then because of the pandemic, I couldn't follow it through. So now again, I think once this eases out, but I'm also trying to find a way to put these courses online. But because there's a certification involved, I have to figure out the best way which is in tune with my integrity as a as a um, facilitator, because I'm basically certifying people for this course. I have to find a good way to put it online so people can access it online as well, especially during these times.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, awesome. So, let me see. So right now, you said before all your trainings, everything was done offline, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do offer certain things online, but this particular course, like the soul design course that I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about, this was being offered offline. Of course, I had plans to put it online, but before I could actually put it all into process, because obviously there are technicalities involved, the COVID-19 crisis happened. So I think probably I should, now it's a good opportunity for me to kind of find a way to expedite that process,
Mm-hmm.
putting soul design as an online course.
Awesome. Love it, Manny. Well, hey, we're getting short on time, but if someone wanted to reach out to you, what is the best way for them to connect?
If someone wants to, a best way would be to connect via my Facebook. I'm also on Instagram, and also via my email, that's moneyhealing@gmail.com, or you can visit my website, that is money-healing.com.
Mm-hmm.
But Facebook is a great way, social media is a great way to connect directly with me, and I answer all my messages myself. So,
Yeah. Awesome. Love it, guys. And guys, if you're watching this interview on the live or on the replay, all the links Manny she just shared with us here today, you should be able to click right on there on either
and
her
also LinkedIn,
bio
sorry.
and LinkedIn as
LinkedIn
well.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though I'm not that active on LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram is, Facebook is more of my platform that I've been using. Instagram, I'm just getting used to it. So yeah, both these platforms I'm very readily available if people would like to connect with me for my upcoming courses or consultations.
Awesome. There you go, guys. So yeah, be sure to connect with Manny. Click on the links, and you'll be connected right to her. So Manny, hey, thank you so much for making the time to be here with us today. Really appreciate it. So do you have any final thoughts before we end?
I think my final thoughts for this, first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity, Extus. I think you're a wonderful being, It's a delight to have been on your show where you've been interviewing well coaches with great intentions. And I would just, whoever is watching this, I would just like them to know, I know the whole planet is going through this crisis situation right now in more ways than one, but this is also the time of transformation. If we could just look at it this way, and just come together as one, I think we'll have the power to change. And I
Mm-hmm.
think people like us who put ourselves, like yourself, who have put ourselves on this, in coaching, in training, serving people, put, I think we kind of carry an onus to help people see that, and inspire them as well.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Well, hey, Imani. Hey, thank you again, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you, Extus.
Awesome.
Lovely
Bye.
speaking to you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. You're welcome.